What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on the twin turbo Chevelle. A lot of you guys have been asking for some updates on the build. Well, today's your day, because we're taking a walk over to Florida Auto Body because they're getting ready to lay down some of that red paint. So they got the full body in epoxy primer. It already looks great. They got our bumpers also sprayed. So now they still got to do some sanding on this stuff, but it's coming along, man. Rear bumper, if you remember, there was a bunch of welds and stuff on this. At this point, they're gonna sand it back down and get ready to spray that metallic deep red. Look at that. Woo. Looking good. So they got some parts over here in the spray booth.
While Mike's over there watching that paint dry, we're gonna go ahead and finish up some prep on the chassis. We've been waiting a long time to get our transmission mated up to our LSX engine. We had a little bit of a mix-up with our coupler. This is the coupler from the back of the crankshaft into the input shaft of our DCT transmission. We didn't have the proper length previously. The first one we had a bolt pattern issue. Second one was the right bolt pattern, wrong length. Now we have the right bolt pattern and the right length, hopefully. So we're gonna get this guy bolted up and making sure that this is the proper length. So hopefully this can be the last time that we mount our transmission onto the engine. Transmission is in. Well, it looks like I spoke too soon. Transmission is back off again. Who would have thought? So the reason it's got to come back off is I went to go put the starter on after I got everything together, and there was an interference from our adapter to our starter. Not sure how that happened, because I was pretty sure that somebody clearanced this transmission and had this for the starter. So the starter had to have been bolted up at one point. Some small clearancing is going to have to happen to get this to come up a little bit more custom. Took a lot of trimming, but we got the adapter and the starter all located. Now the starter, you can see, is bolted all the way up. There's no gap here. We've got our clearance all taken out of our adapter plate. Really, it was just as the snout of the starter tapered up, it would catch the inside lip behind here of the adapter plate. So got that taken care of. It took a bunch of clearancing, but everything fits up great now. Our Bendix will be able to mate up against our flex plate perfectly with our teeth and mesh properly. As you can see, the starter's already bolted up and ready to go. So now we can finalize this again and get this transmission mounted. All right, now that we have the DCT transmission mated to our LSX engine, I've got all the clearancing for our starter all set. The last piece to finalize the drivetrain is going to be our drive shaft. For our drive shaft length, it's all going to be pretty custom. I don't see too many 1970 Chevelles with BMW transmissions and Ford 9-inch rear ends driving around too much. So custom drive shaft is going to be in order, and we know just the right people to do that. QA1 makes awesome suspension parts, but they also make custom carbon fiber drive shafts. So what we're gonna do is go on their website and fill out their large questionnaire. It's very detail oriented so that you make sure you get the proper drive shaft the first time with no mistakes. So we'll go on their website and fill out their order form. You know, everything from the U-joint style that we're gonna use to the spline count on the transmission output shaft, as well as the mating yoke bolt pattern as well. And then we'll magically have a QA1 drive shaft. Boom, Kyle, insert movie magic. Bling.
All right, my neighbor just came and knocked on my door. Come on, knock on my door. It's a moment we've been waiting for. They're getting ready to lay down that red paint. Oh yeah, I am excited, boy. All right, so far he's got all the edges of the car done. The reason for that is the overspray is gonna hit the car. So if he had painted the roof first and then came back and did the edges, all the overspray from painting this would end up on the roof. So at this point, he's gonna go ahead and take a tack rag He's gonna wipe down the roof and the sides and everything. That way any overspray that may have come off of the edges is gonna be removed, and it won't be a dust that which will end up being in the paint. But so far it is looking amazing. Looking fresh. I see like areas that maybe don't have as much paint as the rest. It's a little bit darker than I was picturing, which I like, because I'm not a fan of a red car at all, but I'm liking this color. The high gloss is really gonna bring out the gold sparkles in it. Once they spray it with clear, it's really gonna bring it all and make it pop. Well, I asked him about the difference in the paint, how it looked like some kind of needed a little bit more, and he's got 2 more coats of base to put on. All right, he's got his clear all mixed up. He's got a fresh tack cloth out. He's gonna give this thing a nice wipe down, and then he's ready to start spraying some of that glossy gloss. I gotta come in here and check out the first coat of clear. Boy, this is way better than I thought it was gonna look. Just wait till it gets wet sanded and buffed. Man, gorgeous. Love this color. It's gonna look so good with the satin black accents, man. I cannot wait to get this over there and put it on the chassis. All right, well, it's been about 2 weeks since Florida Auto laid down that sparkly red paint. It's all cured up now. We are getting ready to go get the Chevelle body back from the body shop, get it put back on the chassis, then we can start rolling on again. So we're gonna get this chassis out of the clean room, get it over to the lift, go get the body of the Chevelle, set it on there. All right, we officially got our chassis and our body married together in unison. They love each other. We do have a couple slight adjustments we gotta make. So at this point, we gotta get all of our body mounts put on. So we got all of our hardware laid out here. We have our little Roadster Shop instruction manual. So they provide you with all the bushings and everything you need to get this thing mounted. So we got all the ones underneath the body already on. So in order for us to move on and get the whole front clip put on, we need to make sure that the body is in the right position and get this thing bolted down.
All right, moving right along, we've got the body and the chassis finally made it together. David and I got all the body mounts lined up. Took a little bit of work to get the rearmost mounts lined up back here, all the way at the back side of the frame, but we got them in, no problems. We didn't even have to do any body adjustments like we thought we were gonna have to, so that's a plus. Now we're just going through, making some changes to some of the things that we see back here. These shocks, I believe, are mounted incorrectly backwards due to, I can see the spacing isn't proper between the bracket and the shock, so we're gonna change that real quick. Just trying to knock out some of the stuff that's going on underneath the chassis. I wanna nut and bolt check everything before we drop it down on the floor and start assembling the whole vehicle back in the clean room.
All right, Andrew's under the Chevelle. While he's doing that, what we're gonna do is make an access hatch for our fuel pump, sending unit, and their line connections. That way, we don't have to lift the entire body off the car anytime we want to do any service or testing, or even the final wiring hookup. So, in this section, right under here is where the front of our fuel tank is. All the stuff that we need to access is in the same front area, and like a recessed drop-down area in the tank. So pretty simple. All we gotta do is make a big rectangle that encompasses all of that area, and have it here, and then have rib nuts in the body, and then we could bolt on our plate. We're gonna go over to the plasma, get our rectangle, which I have marked out here. I'll probably do some sort of bead roll design for structure and just to make it look a little prettier, even though it'll be sitting underneath a trunk carpet. Okay, we got our plate all situated, all of our hardware started, make sure our holes line up. These lines look pretty nice in here. Matches the whole trunk now and fills in the gap too, so it'll be easier to seal debris coming up from the bottom.
Well, the Chevelle is finally back from paint. We have it tucked back in here in the clean room. The body is mounted to that Roadster Shop chassis. We got some huge things going down with the Chevelle. We got Lee from E3 doing a full custom interior. You guys remember all that custom metal work that our buddies from Mango Metalworks did? Well, it's finally time to get all that stuff wrapped. While we're waiting on all that, we're gonna be jumping into the engine compartment. We're gonna be final installing our turbo system. We're gonna be doing all the plumbing, starting to run all the electrical stuff. We got a huge shipment here from Haltech. I'm super excited to get that stuff in. And we're gonna try to keep the ball rolling, man. It was a huge hurdle to get this thing back from paint, but I don't think we have any more excuses. So that's a wrap for this episode. Meanwhile, we have a big episode coming out on the Continental. We're gonna keep you guys updated on that. And we have been grinding away on a brand new build that's gonna be coming out for you guys shortly. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was pretty cool for me to get this thing painted and get it back in our shop. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.